It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. Today, we welcome a champion from the pro football ranks. He was drafted by the Los Angeles Raiders in the 1982 NFL Draft out of Illinois. In 53 games for the Silver and Black, he recorded 3 sacks, 1 interception, and 2 fumble recoveries. But he is best remembered for this heads-up play that proved to be the difference against Washington in Super Bowl XVIII.
Theismann back, looks off to the left, and he fires it out there. Intercepted! Jack Squirek! Touchdown Raiders! I don't believe it! Holy Toledo! The Washington Redskins went to the think tank once too often with that one. Theismann, a look off to the right, a swing back out to the left, and Squirek, the second-year linebacker, saw it all the way.
That play was ranked 19th on the NFL's top 50 clutch moments in Super Bowl history in 2016. We now welcome Jack Squirek to this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN right now, with your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. We bring you the biggest guests, great analysis, and the hottest sports stories in the nation's capital and beyond. And we bring it to you live. Welcome to this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN. Here's your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson.
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday, and welcome to another live stream edition of Listen In with KNN. Set it right here on our home station, Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, with me, your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Now we're counting down to Super Bowl. It's so close. We can all taste it. We can all feel it. Football is in the air. So I have to bring in the big guns. I had to bring in a guy that knows football very well and has one of the greatest Super Bowl memories of all time. He's stepping into enemy territory now, coming into DC, but we're going to talk the latest and greatest of the Super Bowl games, his historic career, and all the great stuff that he's currently doing. So joining me today to break everything down is none other than Jack Squirek. He's a former Los Angeles Raiders linebacker and Miami Dolphins linebacker. So without further ado, please help me welcome Jack Squirek to the show. Jack, how are you today?
Good. I'm doing great. Looking forward to playoff games this weekend, and just enduring the cold here in Cleveland, Ohio. And
yeah,
it's something that we have to deal with, but I'm looking forward to the playoff games, and it should be exciting.
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited as well, Jack, except the cold. The cold can do away from the DMV area, but look, we're used to it. We're dealing with it. And as you talk about Cleveland, let's talk about Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns doing something that they haven't done in a very, very long time, making the playoffs in the postseason. You got to tell us, Jack, how has it been in Cleveland is celebrating the Browns' historic run? I know they fell short of what they wanted to do, but all in all, just a great season for the Cleveland Browns franchise.
Yeah, Cleveland, I mean, playing for the Raiders, we always played the Browns, so I had to get, we played them. They're our opponent, so I had to get up for the game. And I grew up rooting for them. They weren't my favorite team when I was playing against them, but now I'm a Browns fan because I'm finished with football. But the Browns fans have been suffering through a long drought. Finally, we have a great team now. Have a lot of good players, great players, defense, offense, Baker Mayfield. And I think we have a lot of good years to come with the Browns. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's exciting. And would you say that fans are finally on board, that they feel like this is a team that can now be in the postseason every season, Jack? Because it seems like that's the feeling I'm getting from fans. They're starting to believe in Baker Mayfield. They see that this team is not only good on paper, but good on the football field, and now have proven themselves to be true contenders in the AFC.
Yeah, I think they are. I look at our team and how we dominated. We always had a dominating defensive end like Howie Long, and then we had the great cornerbacks. The Browns are similar to us in certain ways. They have a dominating defensive end and some pretty good secondary, and then they have the offense with probably the two best running backs in the league, and Baker Mayfield looks good. Our wide receivers look good. So I think they really have a great future if they can stay healthy and keep everybody on the team together.
Yeah, stay healthy, keep everyone on the team together. The Browns are a team to reckon with. And I feel like it's just good air in Cleveland, right? We can't call it the mistake on the lake any longer, Jack. Now it's like the Cleveland Browns, they're not a mistake. There's lots of good things happening with them. And of course, we're going to continue to root for them. And Jack, I usually start with the wellness check. My apologies for skipping that. So everything's good with your family. Hopefully COVID hasn't impacted anyone and you're feeling all right and well.
Yeah, everybody's doing fine in my family. I'm feeling fine. So can't complain. Everything's going good. Like I said, the only thing we're dealing with is the winter. And, that's one thing that growing up in Cleveland's great. I love Cleveland, but the winter's a little bit of a struggle.
Winters are a tough look on us all, and I can only imagine how cold it is in Cleveland right now. And Jack, I can't believe it. It's only almost been 37 years to today, January 22nd, 1984. 37 years since that remarkable Holy Toledo, moment, that interception that you had against our football team, Jack. Believe me, when I was welcoming you on, everyone's like, Kelsey, are you sure? This is enemy territory. I was like, no, we want to hear the other side of it. So let's go back to that moment. First of all, when you hear 37 years, Jack, what does that mean to you? Does it feel like it's been that long?
Did you have to make me feel that old? No, actually, it doesn't. In some ways, it seems like a long time ago, but in a lot of other ways, it really doesn't seem like a long time. But it's a great memory. It's something I'll always cherish. I think when you win a Super Bowl together, you're almost like your team's almost like a family.
Right.
We have reunions every year with the Raiders, so we get to see everybody. We're all getting a little bit older. Some guys have to walk with canes, or some players are a little bit bent over, but overall, everybody's doing fairly well.
Yeah, and when you just relive that Super Bowl moment in memory, Jack, what does it mean to you today to just have that moment that has went down as a clutch moment in Super Bowl history, one of the greatest moments in Super Bowl history, and to be one of those moments that when people think of your name, that's like one of the first things that they think about?
Yeah, it's special. It's something obviously I'll never forget. Yeah. It's a linebacker's dream. He always, as a linebacker going into a game, especially a Super Bowl, you don't really think about intercepting a pass and scoring a touchdown. You might think about getting a sack or making an interception, but to have a pick six, it's a linebacker's dream, and something I'll never forget. And it's always special, not only winning a Super Bowl, but knowing that you contributed like that. And I feel blessed that I just went to a team. We had such great players, and I feel blessed to be on that team and be drafted by them.
Yeah, just an incredible team. And let's talk about just that year. But I want to start with that Super Bowl moment because it is so special. And we're so close to the next Super Bowl. And it's funny to think about since we're going back to Tampa this year, right? February 7th. But in that moment, intercepting Joe Theismann. So take me to the football field, Jack. What was going through your mind in your head as that play happened?
Well, actually, Charlie Sumner, our defensive coordinator, grabbed me on the sideline real quick right before we saw a certain formation going in, and he grabbed me and he said, "Hey, I want you to cover Joe Washington man-to-man." He said, "We're going to have everybody else in a prevent defense." But I said, "I want you locked on Joe Washington." And then he gave me a bunch of different instructions, basically saying, if he does this, do that. basically said, if he catches the ball, just keep him in front of you so he doesn't get a big gain.
Yeah.
Because basically we played Washington earlier in the season, and they ran the same play to the opposite side of the field. Right before halftime, Joe Washington gained probably about close to 70 yards. They kicked the field goal. So Charlie had that in mind, I think, and he just said, I want you locked in on a man-to-man. So basically I was in – the play was – right when the ball was snapped, I was locked in on Joe Washington, and I just basically – I think Lyle kind of pushed him off track when he was going for a screen pass.
Yeah.
He just made a break on the ball. And to be honest with you, it happened so quick. People asked me if I saw the ball. I go, yeah, for a split second. But I saw the ball and just broke on it, made a nice break, caught it, and was in the end zone within seconds. And the biggest memory of that, I remember trying not to get injured because I had probably about 20 of my teammates jumping on me. Linemen stepping on my feet, and I'm like, I need to get hurt in the end zone celebration. It's something you can't describe because just like I said, to be a linebacker, play on defense, and to score in the Super Bowls, it's really a dream come true.
Right. It's just so special, so magical. And that's so funny. You're like, your biggest concern was your teammates injuring you because they were so excited.
Yeah, I mean, really, that can happen because you got a lot of big guys jumping on you. Everybody's happy. And, like I said, when they're stepping on your feet, you can feel your feet coming through. But it's something I'll never forget. And just, I think just from intercepting that pass and just the emotions that I had coming off the field, I was just on cloud nine. I could barely come off the field. It was just such an exhilarating moment. So
yeah,
like I said, it's special, something I'll never forget, and glad it happened.
Yes, of course, very glad that it happened. And, as the rest of the game went on, I'm sure that amped you up, right? Like after you have an interception like that, I mean, I feel like the rest of the game is probably a breeze. And what a Super Bowl, what a win that was for you all. But just that moment, you could say, changed momentum. And I'm sure made your sidelines happy, made you happy, and I'm sure built confidence in yourself, right?
Yeah, I think more confidence. I mean, I remember going into the game, you have so much pressure on you.
Right.
Because it's a Super Bowl, you're making more money if you win versus if you lose.
Right.
Plus, there's a lot of veterans on the team that this might be their last Super Bowl. And you want to play well for them and for yourself because you want to get a ring like this.
Oh, we got to show the ring again, Jack. Yes, a very nice.
I know you're in Washington, D.C., but
it's okay. You can put it in our face.
Yeah, I know you have one. So there's just all that pressure. You got the family. You got the, if you win, you're going to get the ring. You're going to get paid better. So you have all that going through your mind. And so I think for the first quarter, I was so nervous I couldn't calm myself down. And after about a quarter, I got calmed down. But then, like you said, after that interception, I felt more relieved, had more confidence, and felt a lot more relaxed in the game.
Yeah, I'm sure, right? When you do something that momentous, right? I mean, it's like your confidence is going to be at an all-time high because you feel like you're unstoppable. And we're talking about the Super Bowl win, but let's talk about that season. Talk about that season, how the team was able to get to that special moment and what it meant for you.
Well, obviously it meant a lot because you can't do any more than win the Super Bowl. But, we, like I was saying, we played Washington, I think the second or third game of the year, and we did lose to them. High scoring game. I think they beat us. I think it was 43-41. High scoring game, but they won. And we actually lost to Seattle. And so those are both teams we had to play in the playoffs, and we won both of those games. So I think the season, we started out pretty good. We had a pretty decent record, and then we clinched the playoffs, and we just knew we were a good team. But the thing about the Raiders, I think we could see ourselves peaking, right toward the end of the season. We kind of had that invincibility of winning with us. And I think probably about the 10th game of the year, we kind of felt invincible. And when we came to the playoffs, we played the Steelers, beat them soundly. And then the AFC Championship, we beat the Seahawks, and we beat them by a couple touchdowns. So
yeah,
we were peaking at the right time. And going into that Super Bowl, we knew the Redskins were a great team. I mean, they scored the most points in NFL history up to that time. So, you're playing a team that not only won their conference, but they're also highest scoring game in NFL history. So we knew we had a challenge with Washington, but we also knew we were peaking and we were a great team, and we felt confident.
I mean, you're playing a team, the Hogs, right? Like you said, it's a great team that everyone was hyped around. You have the legendary Joe Gibbs, like so much surrounding that team, and you all were able to do what you did, which I think is so special. And, you're talking about the Washington team. We're still getting used to saying it, Jack, the Washington football team. I know
Washington.
The Washington Redskins, and you played them. When you heard that name change, what was kind of the first instinct, or what went through your mind when you saw that Washington was going through this new culture change, this new name change, kind of looking for a new identity as they prepare for the next 100 years?
I mean, it's a little different. Actually, my high school, where I went to high school, our nickname was the Redskins, Cuyahoga Heights Redskins. So, it's kind of a mixed feeling. You hate to see it change, but if it's insensitive, if people are offended by it, you don't want to offend people. So, it's like a double-edged sword kind of thing. And I guess you just got to roll with the punches, and changes are part of football and life. So
exactly right. You can't stop change. It's going to come regardless if you want it or not. And as we're talking about change, also your Raiders now, a new location, Jack. We're playing in Las Vegas now. What did you think about that move?
Well, again, that's like a double-edged sword because, I see how passionate the fans are in Oakland, and I don't think anybody, players, fans, wanted to see it happen, them leaving Oakland. But I think nowadays in the NFL and Major League Sports, you have to go where the better income is. And in Las Vegas, I think they're going to have a better income stream, so they'll be able to attract better free agents. And they also have a brand new stadium. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to go there in person. Yeah. And it should be pretty exciting. I think the Raiders, they just missed the playoffs, but I think they have a lot of potential. They got great coaches, and they do have great players, and I think there's a lot of good things to come with the Raiders.
And as we're talking about the Raiders, you talked about it. They just missed the playoffs this season. Do you think they're building the foundation and building blocks to possibly go to the playoffs next season, Jack?
Yeah, I do. I think they could have gone this year. Obviously, they started off on a pretty good run, and then they kind of drifted a little bit. But I think Gruden, and they have a great coaching staff and scouts. I believe because they'll be able to recruit some new free agents. I think their future. They have a good future ahead of them.
Yeah, a bright future is all you can ask for. And as we talk about the future, let's go back to the past, Jack. I want to go to that moment that you were drafted in the second round of the 1982 draft by the then Los Angeles Raiders. What was that moment like for you?
It was great. I mean, again, it's like a dream come true. And, going to the Raiders, they were always one of my favorite teams. Of course, growing up in Cleveland, I was a Browns fan, but that didn't work out for me. But playing for the Raiders was special. I mean, I remember the first time I walked in the locker room, and I think it was our first mini camp after I got drafted. And you're seeing all these players that were kind of your idols, and now you're playing on the same team with them. So it was kind of special. the Raiders back then, and I don't know if they still do, but they had that certain image where they're hard guys, tough guys. And I always thought to myself, well, I'm not sure I fit that image. My style of linebacking play was always, I used to run around and make a lot of plays, and I was wondering, am I going to fit in with these guys? Because they're, like I said, their reputation back then was a little crazy. But once I got there and met some of the guys, I realized that not everybody on a team of the Oakland Raiders was like that. A lot of great guys. Had some guys that were a little crazy, but got along with them well. And that's another thing. We all got along as a team.
Yeah,
and I think that's important in winning, that you can almost be like a family. You don't always agree with somebody, but we always all pretty much got along.
Yeah, and that's all you can ask for. Like you said, football is family, right? And you talk about what it is, and the Raiders did have that image, but it was a good image, right? Teams wanted to play you guys. You guys were scary, and you guys obviously found some success. And to talk about the Raiders, let's go back to your beginnings. You talked about growing up in Cleveland. Let's talk about college, right? Stand-up linebacker at Illinois. I remember one of those best games that you had your senior year against Syracuse. But take me to the beginnings. What was it like playing at Illinois, and what did it mean to you, Jack, for just when you look back at your legacy playing at such a great school?
Well, Illinois, when I first went there, they were kind of a down program.
Yeah.
I think we won maybe 2 games my freshman year. And but we built on it. They hired Mike White my junior year. Mm-hmm. He came from the 49ers. He also coached at Cal. And like I said, we weren't a great team. We were in the Big Ten. Because we weren't a good team, I got to play early, which was a plus for me, but we lost, which was a negative.
Right.
Illinois is a great school, and they've had some great players. Dick Butkus, to name a few, Scott Studwell. Mm-hmm. It was exciting to play in that tradition. Yeah. And eventually we won, like I said, 2 games our first year, but we eventually start winning. And my senior year, we were 7-4.
Yes.
So that was great. I was voted captain of the team, which was special. And like I said, it was great to see the program go from 2 wins or whatever we won to 7-4 victory, or 7-4 win record. And a couple of years after I left, they were in the Rose Bowl. I think my second year with the Raiders, they made it to the Rose Bowl. They lost, but the program really excelled. And right now they're a little down, but always still proud of them. Still proud to be in the Illini, and it was a great experience there. If any high school recruits are looking for a great college out there, I'm allowed to say this. It's a great football program, and they have a new coach, and I think they're going to be back at the top of the Big Ten again.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I have some good feelings about them.
That's so great. We love Big Ten football, especially here in the DMV area. I'm going to go to a quick question from the fans. Special thanks to Mike Patton for tuning in. He said, Jack Tatum was one of my favorites. Do you have a story about him, or did any of your teammates have a story about him?
Actually, not really. Jack Tatum was gone. I think he got traded to the Houston Oilers 3 years before I came there. But I used to see him every now and then. He'd come to one of the Raider games, and Al Davis was pretty generous with ex-players. He let him on the sideline. And I remember seeing him in street clothes at one of our games, and he had the biggest upper body that I've ever seen. Safety. He was just huge, and you hear stories about how hard he hit.
Yeah.
What a great gamer he was. But he definitely was one of my favorite players.
Yeah, I feel like for many, Right. And as we talk about the Raiders, let's also talk about the Miami Dolphins. And your time was short with them, but just talk about just that initial transition and change going from the Raiders to Miami and joining the Dolphins organization.
Yeah, that was a little different because the Raiders had a loose atmosphere in practice. It was kind of laid back as long as you were paying attention and
Yeah.
knew what was going on. And then going to Miami, it was a little bit tougher because it was hot, humid, and Coach Shula was pretty strict. I mean, in practice, you had to always be at attention, helmet on, not sitting down, standing up. But it was a good experience, seeing Dan Marino play. And, they're both similar. The Raiders and the Dolphins were both similar in that they both, had winning teams. And but they went about it different ways, I think. And, both can be congratulated for doing it a different way, but getting the same results.
Yeah, getting the same results. And the Dolphins, I think, are a team that many, too, are excited about currently. You talked about the Raiders, and I think the Dolphins also have a bright future currently as we move forward. And, Jack, we got to talk the playoffs. Everyone's excited for them. This weekend, all eyes will be on tomorrow. We have our guy, Tom Brady, right, going against Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about that matchup and your thoughts about who will come out on top.
I mean, you hate to bet against Brady, but Green Bay just looks so much better now.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I had to pick, I would take Green Bay. But like I said, I see it as a close game, but I just don't know. It's just a gut feeling. Luckily, I don't bet because
Me either.
you never win unless you're people do.
Exactly.
I just have a gut feeling Green Bay maybe, but like I said, you hate to bet against Brady because he's done it so many times, and it's almost like he wills victory. But I kind of see that as a close game. I don't see it as a runaway between either Green Bay or Tampa. But if I had to choose, I'd probably take Green Bay. They kind of look like they're peaking now. They kind of remind me of the old Raiders.
Yeah.
So,
Peaking at the right time. Green Bay does look good. Aaron Rodgers, just playing fantastic football this season. And I want to ask you, what have you thought about just Tom Brady's transition with the Buccaneers and what he was able to do for that franchise? I mean, did you see 43-year-old Brady doing what he did this season at the beginning of the season when we first found out that he was going to Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I'm really impressed because, you're going to a new team, new players, I'm sure that the system's similar, but just what he's done it's amazing to take Tampa Bay to the playoffs and the championship game. So, I'm really impressed. But, he could be, right now he looks like maybe the best quarterback that ever played. So, arguably, but it looks pretty good right now.
Yeah, Brady is Brady. There's no other way to put it. He just continues to impress and improve. And while we're talking about Brady, I feel like I need to ask you your thoughts on Drew Brees hanging it all up and retiring. What have you thought about his overall NFL career?
Well, he's pretty much done everything. He won the Super Bowl, has great stats. I'm sure he'll be a Hall of Famer. It's tough. You never want to give it up, but your body kind of takes a beating, and I'm sure he had that in mind when he was considering retiring. Yeah. It's tough. I know mentally it's tough, physically it's tough, and you want to be able to walk when you're like 55. So, decision.
Right. It's hard, but like you said, we all love football, but your age will catch up with you, and your body will start to tell you things, and you have to look out for your best self. And like you said, Drew Brees has had a magnificent career. I wish he could have got a nice homecoming, but of course COVID happened, and you didn't have the regular amount of fans in. But overall, just great to see Drew Brees play, Tom Brady play. And on the other side of things, let's go to the younger guys. We have Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen going toe-to-toe, head-to-head. Patrick Mahomes cleared protocol, so he will play. What are you thinking about this matchup? I think this is one that many are excited for because Buffalo, another town that's finally like, yes, our Bills are playing and they might get to the Super Bowl. What do you think about this matchup?
I think it's another tough matchup. Lee Steinberg was my agent when I played, and
Yeah.
he's Patrick Mahomes' agent. So you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's more. I think it's more of how he comes back from the injury. But I see this as a tight game too. It's going to be I think, a hard-fought battle. I don't even know if I could pick a winner from this one.
It's hard. I know. Both teams look good. I mean, the Bills are just incredible. Josh Allen, his season.
The Bills, I think, are kind of peaking too.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of peaking. They look great. Defense, offense, and like I said, Kansas City, I saw them play against Cleveland, and without Patrick Mahomes, the offense still looked great.
Yeah.
I think they scored on their first 5 possessions or something.
Yeah, in Chiefs fashion. I mean, it's hard to pick. That's why I think we're all just so excited for both of these matchups coming up, Jack. And before I let you go, what team surprised you the most this season? What team just kind of took you by surprise and you were like, wow, that really happened?
I think probably Buffalo.
Yeah.
They kind of came out of nowhere. And I remember talking to my son. We were talking about Pittsburgh, and I early in the season, I was like, Pittsburgh looks unbeatable. And he's like, nope.
And then our football team beat them.
What are you talking about? He goes, Buffalo. Keep your eye on Buffalo. And he was right. He picked Buffalo, and they really kind of surprised me. I mean, I thought they'd be a solid team, but it really kind of peaked out. I mean, everybody knows Kansas City's always going to be in the mix. So,
right.
And then probably Tampa Bay and Green Bay both, I thought, kind of surprised people that they've gone this far. So it should be pretty interesting tomorrow. See what happens.
Yeah, we're all excited, Jack. And before I let you go, when all is said and done, when we look back at your football career, what do you want fans to remember most?
That I think that the Raiders, as a team, always played hard. They always played for the fans, and we always had a lot of respect for our fans, and we always played hard. We went into every game, and I think we played for each other. Like I said, in the Super Bowl, you look at the veterans on the team. We never wanted to let down the veterans or our players, even the younger players, but we always played hard because we didn't play for the paycheck, but we played because we wanted to make everybody happy and do our best out there.
Making everyone happy and doing your best. Jack Squirek, I have to thank you so much for joining me on the show. It was a pleasure to meet you and talk with you. And thanks for letting our DC fans remember that game, Jack, that you helped to disrupt from our Washington football team franchise.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Have a great one and try to stay warm in Cleveland.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, Jack.
Okay, goodbye.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to another live stream edition of Listen In With KNN. Sent right here by Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. A big special thanks to my team for always helping me get ready. We'll be back Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and, of course, next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, check out the audio version of the show with new episodes dropping every Wednesday. Lots of great content, iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the playoffs tomorrow, and we'll continue to do our countdown to the Super Bowl. You won't want to miss it. Lots of great football greats coming to join me and talk the latest and greatest in sports. Bye, guys.
Follow Kelsey on social media at The Real K Nelson. Catch episodes of Listen In with KNN on YouTube, on air at AM 1340 and 96.9 FM Fox Sports Radio, on Facebook and Twitter, and online at KelseyNicoleNelson.com. Thank you for watching this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN.
You used to hear me on your airwaves or hear me on my hit podcast, but now I'm taking you to the screen. You'll love Elevator Thoughts. We will talk the latest trending in sports. It's game time. What better way to get to know those that visit the show than over some good food and drink? It's time for confessions.